have amazed collectors. Stay until the end. You won't want to miss the last coin. George Washington. Presidential $1 marked the beginning of one of the most ambitious coin programs ever introduced by the United States Mint. Released as the first coin in the Presidential Dollar series, it honored George Washington, the nation's first president, who served from 1789 through 1797. Millions of Americans recognized this golden-colored dollar as soon as it entered circulation, yet very few people stopped to examine it closely. Most were spent at stores, placed in jars, forgotten in drawers, or tucked away in old collections. Today, collectors continue searching through these coins because a small number display unusual characteristics and minting mistakes that make them far more desirable than ordinary examples. At first glance, a 2007 George Washington presidential dollar may seem like an ordinary $1 coin. It carries a warm golden appearance because it is struck from a manganese brass-clad composition rather than solid gold.
Although it shines with a rich color, its real value comes from rarity, preservation, and unusual production characteristics instead of precious metal content. Every serious collector understands that condition can transform an ordinary coin into an exceptional collectible. That is why experienced numismatists inspect every detail before determining a coin's worth. The Denver Mint, identified by the small D mint mark, produced hundreds of millions of George Washington presidential dollars during 2007. Most entered circulation almost immediately, making worn examples common today. However, not every coin survived the same journey. Some remained in original government rolls, while others were preserved in collections shortly after release. Coins that escaped years of circulation often display stronger luster, sharper details, and fewer contact marks, making them significantly more attractive to collectors. When examining a fine condition example, collectors first study the portrait of George Washington. Although fine coins have noticeable wear, important design elements should remain visible. Washington's facial outline, hair ribbon, and profile should still be recognizable even if the highest points have become smooth through years of handling. Collectors appreciate honest circulation wear because it tells the story of a coin that passed through countless hands while remaining identifiable and appealing. The reverse of the coin features the Statue of Liberty extending her torch toward the sky. This powerful design symbolizes freedom, hope, and opportunity. Even on circulated pieces, the torch, flowing robe, and surrounding inscriptions should remain visible. Small scratches, light abrasions, and minor contact marks are expected in fine condition, but excessive damage, corrosion, or harsh cleaning can reduce collector interest considerably. One unique feature of the Presidential Dollar series appears on the edge instead of the front or back. Rather than placing the date, mint information, and mottos on the faces of the coin, the United States Mint impressed them around the edge. This edge lettering includes the year of issue, the mint mark, E pluribus unum, and In God We Trust. Because this lettering was applied in a separate manufacturing step, occasional mistakes occurred, creating some of the most talked-about varieties in the entire series. Among the most famous is the missing edge lettering error. During production, a small number of presidential dollars skipped the edge lettering process entirely. These coins were released into circulation without the date or inscriptions around the edge. Collectors quickly nicknamed them godless dollars because the phrase, "In God We Trust," was absent. Although not every example commands extraordinary prices, authenticated missing edge lettering coins remain among the best-known modern United States Mint errors. Another variety collectors search for involves weak or partially impressed edge lettering. Instead of complete inscriptions, parts of the lettering may appear faint, doubled, or incomplete. While these examples are less dramatic than completely missing lettering, they still attract attention from specialists who build collections focused on presidential dollar varieties. Collectors also examine the coin for doubled design elements. True doubled dies occur during die preparation and can create noticeable doubling on letters, numbers, or parts of Washington's portrait. Genuine doubled dies are much scarcer than machine doubling, making careful authentication extremely important. Magnification and comparison with documented varieties help determine whether the doubling represents a recognized collectible error. Off-center strikes are another fascinating possibility. During striking, if the blank planche was not perfectly aligned beneath the dies, part of the design could be missing while an unstruck crescent remained visible. The greater the off-center percentage while still showing the complete date and mint mark, the stronger collector demand generally becomes. Dramatic examples often attract significant attention whenever they appear at auction. Broad-struck errors also interest advanced collectors. These occur when the retaining collar fails during striking, allowing the coin to spread wider than intended. The design appears stretched, and the edge lacks its normal shape. Broad-struck presidential dollars are much scarcer than ordinary circulation pieces and can command healthy premiums depending on overall appearance and preservation. Occasionally, collectors discover clipped planches. Before coins are struck, round blanks are punched from long metal strips. If the punching process overlaps a previously cut area, the resulting blank may have a curved section missing. Once struck, the finished coin displays a distinctive clip that confirms the manufacturing mistake occurred before striking. Authentic clipped planche errors remain desirable additions to specialized collections. Strike quality also influences value. Even though millions of George Washington dollars were produced, not every coin received the same striking pressure. Sharply struck. Examples reveal stronger hair details, crisp lettering, and well-defined design elements. Weakly struck pieces may appear flat in certain areas despite showing little actual circulation wear. Collectors generally prefer stronger strikes because they highlight the artistic beauty of the design. Surface quality becomes increasingly important as condition improves. Fine condition coins naturally show wear, but collectors still appreciate examples free from heavy scratches, deep gouges, discoloration, or environmental damage. Original surfaces usually bring stronger prices than coins that have been polished or improperly cleaned. Once a coin loses its natural finish, experienced collectors often reduce their offers substantially. Many beginning collectors believe every old-looking dollar coin must be valuable, but experienced numismatists understand that rarity depends on much more than age. A coin's condition, variety, certification, originality, and overall eye appeal work together to determine its market value. Even common dates can become highly desirable when paired with exceptional preservation or documented mint errors. Professional grading services play a major role in today's auction market. Companies carefully examine authenticity, assign standardized grades, and encapsulate coins in protective holders. Certified examples inspire greater confidence among buyers because independent experts have confirmed both authenticity and condition. This added confidence often results in stronger bidding during competitive auctions. Ordinary circulated 2007 D George Washington presidential dollars generally trade close to face value, while attractive uncirculated examples can bring modest collector premiums. However, authenticated mint errors, exceptional high-grade examples, or unusual production varieties may achieve substantially higher prices depending on rarity, certification, and collector demand. Exceptional modern error coins have occasionally realized impressive auction results, but each example must be evaluated individually rather than assuming every coin is valuable. This is why knowledgeable collectors encourage everyone to inspect every presidential dollar carefully. A quick glance may overlook subtle details that separate an ordinary circulation piece from a fascinating collectible. Examining the edge lettering, searching for striking errors, studying the surfaces under magnification, and comparing the coin with documented varieties can transform a routine search into an exciting discovery. Every coin carries a story beyond its face value. The 2007 D George Washington presidential dollar represents the beginning of an important modern United States coin series while honoring the nation's first president. Whether found in pocket change, inherited from family, or purchased for a collection, it continues to inspire collectors who enjoy the thrill of searching for rare varieties and exceptional examples. Next up, the 2010 P. Abraham Lincoln Presidential $1 honors one of the most respected leaders in American history. Abraham Lincoln served as the 16th President of the United States from 1861 to 1865, guiding the nation through the Civil War while working to preserve the Union. His leadership, determination, and commitment to freedom made him one of the most influential figures ever featured on American coinage. When the United States Mint released this presidential dollar in 2010, collectors across the country eagerly added it to their collections, recognizing both its historical importance and its place in the continuing presidential dollar program. Although millions of these coins were produced, not every example is the same in the eyes of collectors. Most 2010 P. Abraham Lincoln presidential dollars entered circulation shortly after leaving the Philadelphia Mint. They passed through banks, vending machines, cash registers, and countless hands over the years. As a result, many examples now display scratches, contact marks, worn surfaces, and dull luster. A well-preserved circulated fine-condition coin with attractive eye appeal can still draw interest from collectors who appreciate original surfaces and historical significance. The Philadelphia Mint identified these coins with the letter P placed within the edge lettering rather than on the front or reverse. This unusual placement became one of the defining features of the presidential dollar series. Along with the mint mark, the edge also carries the year of issue, E pluribus unum, and In God We Trust. Because the edge lettering was added in a separate production step, collectors carefully inspect every coin for unusual varieties and striking errors. The obverse displays a detailed portrait of Abraham Lincoln facing to the right. His familiar beard, thoughtful expression, and carefully engraved hair reflect the artistic effort invested in the series. Around the portrait appear his name, the order of his presidency, and the years he served from 1861 through 1865. Even in fine condition, Lincoln's profile should remain clear, although moderate wear is expected on the highest parts of the design. Collectors generally look for examples that retain strong outlines without excessive damage or harsh cleaning. Turning the coin over reveals the familiar Statue of Liberty design used throughout the presidential dollar series. The raised torch symbolizes liberty and opportunity, while the surrounding inscriptions identify the denomination as $1. Although every presidential dollar shares this reverse design, collectors still examine it closely for strike quality, luster, and preservation. Coins with fewer distractions and more original surfaces often attract stronger interest in today's collector market. One of the first characteristics specialists evaluate is the overall strike. Strongly struck coins display crisp lettering, well-defined facial features, and sharp details throughout the design. Some pieces received slightly weaker strikes during production, leaving certain areas less defined even before entering circulation. Understanding the difference between strike weakness and actual wear helps experienced collectors assign more accurate grades. The Philadelphia Mint produced a very large mintage of the 2010 P. Abraham Lincoln presidential dollar, making ordinary circulated examples readily available. High production numbers alone, however, do not eliminate the possibility of collectible varieties. Throughout American coinage history, even coins struck in enormous quantities have produced fascinating mint errors that later became highly sought after by specialists. Among the most desirable errors are missing edge lettering examples. Since the edge inscriptions were added after the main strike, an occasional coin bypassed this final step entirely. These pieces lack the date, mint mark, and mottos around the edge. Certified examples are significantly scarcer than standard issues and continue attracting collectors interested in modern United States Mint production mistakes. Partial edge lettering also appears on a small number of coins. Instead of complete inscriptions, only fragments of the lettering may be visible. Depending on the severity of the missing impressions and the coin's overall condition, these varieties may command meaningful premiums over ordinary examples. Collectors also search carefully for doubled die varieties. During die preparation, a slight misalignment can create genuine doubling on parts of the design. Letters, numbers, or Lincoln's portrait may show noticeable separation under proper magnification. True doubled dies are distinct from machine doubling, making professional authentication important whenever a potentially valuable variety is discovered. Another fascinating category involves off-center strikes. If the blank planche shifted during striking, part of the design failed to transfer completely, leaving an unstruck crescent-shaped area. The more dramatic the off-center strike while still displaying the date and identifying features, the greater the collector interest generally becomes. Such dramatic mint errors often stand out immediately, even to beginning collectors. Broad-stroke errors occasionally appear when the restraining collar fails during striking. Without the collar holding the planchet in place, the metal spreads farther outward than normal. The resulting coin appears wider and lacks its standard edge profile. These unusual pieces are considerably scarcer than ordinary circulation strikes and are eagerly sought by modern error collectors. Clipped planchet errors represent another collectible possibility. During blank production, overlapping punches occasionally remove part of the metal before striking. Once struck, the finished coin displays a curved section missing from its edge, while the remaining design confirms the error originated during manufacturing rather than later damage. Authentic clipped planchets remain popular among collectors assembling specialized error collections. Die cracks and die chips also attract attention. As production dies wear over time, tiny fractures sometimes develop. These cracks transfer raised lines onto the finished coin, while broken pieces of the die create raised metal lumps called die chips. Although minor examples are relatively common, dramatic die deterioration varieties often become recognized by specialists and cataloged for future reference. Collectors pay close attention to the coin's original finish. Even circulated examples can retain pleasing color and attractive surfaces if they were handled carefully. Harsh cleaning, polishing, or chemical treatment often removes the natural appearance, reducing collector demand. Experienced buyers generally prefer coins that display honest wear rather than artificial brightness created through improper cleaning. Professional grading services have become increasingly important for modern presidential dollars, featuring unusual errors. Authentication confirms that a coin represents a genuine mint variety rather than post-mint damage. Certified coins also receive standardized grades that allow buyers and sellers to compare examples more confidently across today's marketplace. The market for presidential dollars continues evolving as more collectors focus on modern United States coinage. While common circulated examples generally trade close to face value, authenticated error coins and exceptional, high-grade specimens often sell for substantially more. Demand increases whenever collectors compete for scarce, certified varieties with documented rarity. Some advanced collectors build complete presidential dollar collections representing every president in the series. Others specialize exclusively in Philadelphia mint issues, while many pursue only dramatic mint errors. This diversity of collecting interests helps maintain steady demand for noteworthy examples, especially coins displaying unusual production characteristics rarely encountered in circulation. Abraham Lincoln remains one of the most admired figures in American history, and that admiration contributes to lasting collector interest in this presidential dollar. His legacy extends far beyond the coin itself, connecting American history, leadership, and numismatics in a single collectible. Many collectors enjoy owning coins that celebrate important historical figures, while also offering opportunities to discover scarce varieties. Whenever you examine a 2010p Abraham Lincoln presidential dollar, take time to inspect every detail carefully. Look closely at the edge lettering, search for unusual striking characteristics, study the portrait under magnification, and compare any unusual features with known documented varieties. Even a coin found in ordinary circulation deserves a careful inspection before being spent. Most examples will remain common collectibles with modest value, but the excitement of coin collecting comes from the possibility of discovering something genuinely unusual. Every roll searched, every inherited collection examined, and every handful of dollar coins inspected offers another chance to uncover an overlooked mint error or an exceptionally well-preserved example. For collectors, the true reward is often the search itself. The 2010p Abraham Lincoln presidential dollar combines American history, modern minting technology, and the enduring excitement of numismatics. Whether preserved as a historical keepsake or studied for rare varieties, it continues to hold a respected place in collections across the United States, reminding collectors that every coin deserves a closer look before its story is fully understood. Next up, the 2009 Native American $1 featuring the Three Sisters design with a P mint mark has become one of the most fascinating modern coins for collectors. While millions were produced, only a tiny number with exceptional qualities, rare striking errors, or outstanding preservation have reached impressive prices at auction. That is exactly why experienced collectors never dismiss this coin without giving it a careful inspection. The year 2009 marked an important change in the Native American dollar program. Instead of keeping the same reverse design every year, the United States Mint introduced a new tradition by changing the reverse annually to celebrate the history, culture, and achievements of Native Americans. The first design in this series honored the agricultural tradition known as the Three Sisters, representing corn, beans, and squash growing together. These crops were planted side by side because they supported one another naturally, creating a strong and sustainable farming method that had been practiced for generations long before the arrival of European settlers. The design transformed an ordinary circulating dollar into a meaningful piece of American history. The Philadelphia Mint struck these coins with the familiar P mint mark. Although the mint mark itself does not make the coin rare, it helps identify where it was produced. Collectors compare Philadelphia coins with those from Denver, searching for differences in strike quality, die condition, and unusual minting mistakes. Sometimes a tiny variation created during production can turn an otherwise common coin into a prized collectible. When you hold this dollar in your hand, the obverse features the portrait of Sacagawea carrying her infant son, Jean-Baptiste. The portrait has become one of the most recognizable images on modern United States dollar coins. The artwork symbolizes courage, exploration, and the important role Sacagawea played during the Lewis and Clark expedition. Her calm expression and the detailed folds of her clothing demonstrate the careful craftsmanship that went into creating this design. The reverse is where the Three Sisters theme comes to life. Tall stalks of corn stand beside climbing beans and broad squash leaves, illustrating a farming tradition that sustained native communities for centuries. Every line and texture was carefully engraved to create a design that is both educational and visually appealing. Even collectors who focus mainly on classic silver coins often admire this reverse because it represents an important chapter in American history. One interesting fact about the Native American dollar is that it is not struck in solid gold. Many people who first discover these coins believe they have found a valuable gold dollar because of the bright golden color. In reality, the coin is made from a manganese brass alloy layered over a copper core. This composition provides the attractive golden appearance while keeping production costs reasonable. Another feature that surprises new collectors is the edge lettering. Unlike many other American coins where the inscriptions appear on the front or back, the date, mint mark, and the mottos E pluribus unum and In God We Trust are impressed along the edge. This unusual manufacturing step created opportunities for fascinating mint errors that continue to attract attention today. Edge lettering errors remain among the most sought-after varieties in this series. Occasionally, a coin escaped the mint without receiving its edge lettering at all. These pieces are known as missing edge lettering errors and have sold for hundreds or even thousands of dollars depending on condition and certification. Other examples show doubled lettering, partial lettering, or lettering impressed upside down relative to the coin's faces. Every one of these varieties tells a story about what happened during the minting process. Collectors also inspect the coin for off-center strikes. When the blank planchet is not perfectly aligned beneath the dies, the design appears shifted toward one side, leaving part of the coin blank. Minor off-center strikes are relatively common, but dramatic examples with clear dates and mint marks are considerably scarcer and often command strong premiums. Die cracks are another feature worth watching for. As production continued, the dies occasionally developed tiny fractures. These cracks transferred raised lines onto the finished coins. While many die cracks are small and add only modest value, large and dramatic examples are popular among error collectors because every crack is unique. Some collectors search for die chips, especially those located in noticeable parts of the design. A die chip occurs when a small fragment breaks away from the die, leaving a raised lump on the coin. Depending on its size and location, such an error can generate significant interest. Another possibility is a clipped planchet. Before striking, coin blanks are punched from long strips of metal. If the punching process overlaps an existing hole, part of the blank is missing, creating a curved clip. When struck, the finished coin displays an unusual missing section that immediately attracts attention. Double strikes are even more dramatic. These occur when a coin receives two impressions instead of one. Some examples show overlapping images that make the design appear duplicated. Genuine double strikes are rare and highly collectible because they illustrate an unusual malfunction during production. Broad-struck errors are also exciting. Normally, a collar surrounds the blank during striking, giving the coin its correct diameter and edge. If the collar fails to engage properly, the coin spreads outward under pressure, creating a wider appearance with missing or distorted edge lettering. Although these errors are genuinely scarce, most 2009 Native American dollars found in circulation are perfectly normal. A circulated example showing dirt, scratches, dull surfaces, and ordinary wear usually carries only face value or a small collector premium. That reality makes the discovery of a significant error even more exciting because it transforms an everyday coin into something truly special. Condition remains one of the biggest factors affecting value. A dirty circulated coin may seem unimportant, but experienced collectors understand that dirt alone does not determine rarity. Some rare errors survive only in heavily circulated condition because they entered commerce immediately after leaving the mint. Even worn examples can attract serious bidders if the error is dramatic and well documented. Professional grading services play an important role in today's coin market. Companies carefully examine authenticity, preservation, strike quality, and surface condition before assigning a numerical grade. Certified examples often bring stronger prices because buyers have confidence in their authenticity and quality. Auction records demonstrate how competitive modern-era collecting has become. While an ordinary circulated 2009 Native American dollar is worth about $1, exceptional certified error coins can sell for hundreds or thousands of dollars. The most spectacular mint errors, especially those combining multiple striking mistakes with excellent preservation, have realized remarkable prices when two determined collectors compete for ownership. Imagine opening an old coffee can filled with forgotten dollar coins collected years ago. Most people would simply count the money and spend it. A knowledgeable collector, however, would inspect every edge, every letter, every surface, and every tiny detail before making any decision. That extra patience has occasionally rewarded collectors with discoveries worth far more than expected. This is exactly why the Three Sisters Native American dollar continues to attract attention year after year. It combines meaningful American history, changing annual designs, unique edge lettering, and the possibility of valuable mint errors. Even though most examples remain common, the excitement comes from knowing that one extraordinary coin could still be waiting unnoticed among ordinary pocket change. If you own a 2009 Native American $1 with a P mint mark, take a few extra minutes to examine it under good lighting. Check the edge lettering carefully. Look for missing inscriptions, doubled letters, off-center strikes, clipped planchets, broad strikes, or other unusual features. Compare it with normal examples, and if something appears different, consider having it evaluated by a reputable coin expert or grading service. That careful inspection could reveal a fascinating mint error that makes your coin far more desirable than its face value. Next up is a presidential dollar that often gets overlooked because so many people assume every coin in the series is common. The 2007 James Madison $1 with the D mint mark may appear ordinary at first, especially if it is found in dirty, heavily circulated condition. However, seasoned collectors know that appearances can be deceiving. A small number of these coins have become highly desirable because of unusual minting errors, exceptional preservation, and the growing interest in completing presidential dollar collections. That combination has turned certain examples into exciting auction pieces that continue to attract competitive bidding. The Presidential Dollar Program was introduced by the United States Mint in 2007 to honor the nation's former presidents in the order they served. James Madison was selected as one of the first 4 presidents featured in the inaugural year of the program. As the 4th President of the United States, serving from 1809 through 1817, Madison played a major role in shaping the country's early history. He is often called the Father of the Constitution because of his influence during the Constitutional Convention and his work supporting the ratification of the United States Constitution. Every presidential dollar celebrating James Madison carries that historical importance, making it much more than a simple circulating coin. The Denver Mint produced the 2007 James Madison dollars bearing the D Mint mark. Millions were struck for circulation, meaning that an average worn example usually carries only its face value. Yet collectors rarely stop there. They carefully inspect every coin because they understand that the real value often comes from unusual mint errors or distinctive varieties that escape the mint during production. The obverse displays a detailed portrait of James Madison facing forward with remarkable attention to facial features and clothing. Around the portrait are the inscriptions identifying him as the fourth President of the United States, along with the years of his presidency, 1809 through 1817. The design captures the dignity of one of America's most influential leaders and reflects the artistic quality expected from modern United States coinage. The reverse features the Statue of Liberty, which appears on every presidential dollar in the series. This consistent reverse design symbolizes freedom and national unity, while allowing each president's portrait to remain the unique feature on the obverse. The balance between the two sides creates an attractive coin that appeals to both beginning collectors and experienced numismatists. Like other presidential dollars, this coin includes edge lettering rather than placing all inscriptions on the front or back. The date, mint mark, E pluribus unum, and In God We Trust appear on the edge. This manufacturing process created one of the most famous error types in modern American coin collecting. The missing edge lettering error became widely known shortly after the presidential dollar series began. Some coins accidentally skipped the edge lettering machine entirely, leaving the edge completely blank. These pieces quickly became known among collectors and generated enormous excitement. Certified examples sold for hundreds and even thousands of dollars depending on rarity, condition, and market demand. Another fascinating variety involves doubled edge lettering. If a coin passed through the edge lettering machine twice, the inscriptions appeared duplicated or overlapped. These unusual pieces remain highly collectible because they clearly demonstrate an uncommon mistake during the minting process. Some examples display partial edge lettering, where only part of the inscription appears while the remainder is missing. Others show weak or incomplete lettering caused by improper pressure during the edge lettering process. Every variation offers collectors another reason to examine these dollars carefully before spending them. Collectors also search for off-center strikes. During production, if the blank planchet shifted out of position before being struck, part of the design failed to appear while the opposite side remained blank. Larger off-center strikes that still display the date and mint mark are generally much more valuable than slight misalignments. Die cracks are another interesting feature. Over time, tremendous striking pressure can cause the dies to develop fine fractures. These cracks transfer onto the finished coin as raised lines. Although many are minor, dramatic die cracks crossing major design elements often attract dedicated error collectors. Die chips can also increase collector interest. When tiny pieces break away from the die, raised metal appears on the finished coin. Depending on size and location, these raised areas become popular collectible varieties. Broad strikes occur when the retaining collar fails during striking, allowing the metal to spread beyond its intended diameter. The result is a wider coin with distorted dimensions and unusual edge characteristics. Genuine broad strikes are significantly scarcer than ordinary circulation pieces. Clipped planchets represent another striking mint error. If the blank is improperly punched from the metal strip, a curved section is missing before striking even begins. Once struck, the missing portion creates a distinctive appearance that collectors immediately recognize. Double strikes are among the most dramatic mint errors found on presidential dollars. These occur when a coin receives more than one strike from the dies. Depending on how far the coin shifted between strikes, overlapping images may appear across the design. Authentic double strikes are always in demand because each one is unique. A dirty, worn condition does not automatically eliminate collector value. Many genuine mint errors entered circulation immediately after production and remained in use for years before being discovered. Dirt, scratches, and surface wear may reduce value, but a significant error can still command an impressive premium. The mintage of the 2007 D. James Madison dollar reached tens of millions of coins, making ordinary examples plentiful. That large production is exactly why collectors focus on varieties and errors rather than standard circulation pieces. When millions of identical coins exist, even a small manufacturing mistake becomes highly desirable. Professional grading services have become an essential part of the modern coin market. Authentication provides buyers with confidence that a rare error is genuine rather than damaged after leaving the mint. Certified error coins often achieve much stronger auction prices because collectors trust the independent evaluation.